Chosen one, October 2nd is your prosper day. It's time. This is the season where God has placed his hand on the timeline of your life and marked a date that is meant to be remembered. A day of distinction written into your story. October 2nd is not just another day in the calendar. It is a signal in the heavens and a stamp upon the earth that prosperity is shifting toward you in a way that cannot be ignored. Everything that has been waiting in silence, everything that has been circling your name, everything that God has held in his storehouse for the appointed time is about to arrive. This day is not about the ordinary routine of life. This is the moment where the extraordinary finally enters into your atmosphere, and prosperity ceases to be a dream and begins to stand as reality. October 2nd is your prosper day, because it was set apart for you long before you even reached it. And now that you are stepping into it, the evidence of God's movement will be undeniable. Stay with me until the end, this message to listen until the end, because there is power released when you align yourself fully with the word that is being declared, and write your warmest wishes in the comments and write the number 99 as a way of energizing the universe with expectation and agreement. The wishes you put forward become like seeds, and the number 99 becomes the key that unlocks what is sealed. This is the moment to release what you carry and to stand with others who are chosen, knowing that what you write is echoed into the unseen and multiplied back to you. Wishes coming true are not accidents. They are the result of alignment, agreement, and faith. And this chapter is about giving that energy room to expand in your life. Now, chosen one, press the hype button under the video and like this video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's begin. October 2nd carries a weight, unlike the days that surround it. It has been spoken into existence by the hand of God, orchestrated so that all roads lead you to this day. There are moments when heaven bends close to the earth, when divine timing presses against human expectation, and a shift is undeniable. This day is one of those moments. Prosperity is not only about wealth or material supply. It is about the expansion of every area of your life. It is the breaking of limits, the opening of opportunities, the sudden acceleration that moves you from delay into manifestation. Prosperity means more than money. It means flourishing in spirit, strength and health, increase in influence, overflow in joy, and doors opening where walls once stood. October 2nd is the day when all these things collide into one revelation. God has chosen this time for you to prosper. Think about how long the waiting has been, how often you have carried hope silently, how many times you've wondered when your season would finally arrive. This day is the answer to those questions. The delays were not denials. They were the preparation for a day marked by divine prosperity. On October 2nd, the waiting becomes worth it. The heaviness you've carried begins to lift, because prosperity is lighter than struggle, and overflow feels different than lack. This is the time when God shows you why the journey was necessary, why the detours had meaning, and why you could not receive the promise any earlier than now. There is an alignment happening that goes deeper than chance. It is the orchestration of heaven itself. You are not here by accident. This message found you because October 2nd is written into your story in bold letters. You may have thought it was just another date on the calendar, but in the realm of the spirit, it is a headline, a declaration, a point of no return. When God chooses a day to prosper his chosen ones, no resistance, no opposition, no delay can stand against it. October 2nd is a date where the flow of blessing overtakes the dry places of your life. Prosperity does not creep in quietly. It arrives loudly, boldly, undeniably. It announces itself in the way doors suddenly open, in the way opportunities suddenly present themselves, in the way favor starts calling your name without you having to chase it. This is the reality of October 2nd. It is the pivot point from ordinary into extraordinary. What makes this day so powerful is not only what you will see, but also what will be revealed about who you are. Prosperity is not just about receiving. It is about recognizing that you were built for increase. You were shaped by God's hands with prosperity woven into your DNA. October 2nd is the day when that truth begins to express itself outwardly. It is when everything around you starts to reflect what has been inside you all along. That you were chosen, destined, appointed, and marked for more. The prosperity that comes is not random. It is attracted to you because you carry the signature of heaven. And when heaven recognizes its own imprint, nothing can keep the blessing from finding you. You will notice on this day that the energy around you shifts. What once felt heavy will feel lighter. Conversations will carry a different tone. Opportunities that seemed out of reach will suddenly feel within grasp. Even the atmosphere will feel like it is leaning in your favor. This is how prosperity announces itself. It changes the climate before the harvest even arrives. October 2nd will not be remembered as an ordinary day because the shift is not only external, but also internal. Your mindset will begin to align with the reality of abundance. Your heart will begin to expand with the knowing that you are stepping into something bigger. Your spirit will rise because it can sense the hand of God moving things into place. There is something unique about prosperity. It rarely comes alone. It carries companions along with financial increase. You will see relationships shift, connections form, ideas flow, and creativity multiply. Prosperity gathers everything it touches and multiplies it. On October 2nd, the blessing of God will not stop at your bank account. It will spill into your home, your work, your health, your relationships, and your influence. It will create ripples that move beyond you, touching others who are connected to you. Prosperity is never selfish. It is abundant by nature, and abundance always overflows. This is why your Prosper Day is not just for you, but for everyone attached to you. Chosen one, October 2nd is not only about what you will receive, but also about what will be removed. Prosperity requires space. God is clearing out the remnants of lack, the residue of struggle, the chains of limitation. He is removing the walls that have kept you boxed in. On this day, what no longer serves your destiny will begin to lose its grip. You will notice that old fears feel smaller, old doubts lose their voice, and old limitations lose their authority. Prosperity cannot coexist with restriction. So, restriction is forced to leave. When God declares prosperity over you, everything that opposes it is dismantled. October 2nd is your Prosper Day because it is the day when all the threads of your journey tie together. Every test, every trial, every moment of endurance comes to a point of fulfillment. You will look back and realize that nothing was wasted. Every delay was aligning you. Every struggle was preparing you. Every waiting season was shaping you. Prosperity is not a single event. It is the reward of a process. And October 2nd is the culmination of that process. God has been moving pieces you couldn't see, arranging outcomes you didn't know about, and aligning timing you couldn't control. Now all of it comes into focus on this appointed day, and as you step into it, you will feel the undeniable truth. It is time. October 2nd is your Prosper Day because God said so. And when God says it is time, nothing can stop what follows. Prosperity is no longer a distant hope. It is a present reality. This is not something to look for in the far-off future. It is happening now, in this moment, on this day. God has written prosperity into your present, and all you need to do is recognize it, embrace it, and live in it. October 2nd will always be remembered as the day when prosperity turned its face towards you and refused to look away. Chosen one, when October 2nd arrives, it is not arriving quietly. It is arriving with a roar in the spirit, a declaration that something irreversible has shifted in your life. Think of the way a season changes. One day it feels like summer, then suddenly the air shifts. The wind carries a different tone, and you realize that autumn has entered. That is what this day is like. October 2nd is not simply a turn of the page on the calendar. It is the transformation of the atmosphere around you. Everything that had been stubbornly still begins to move. Everything that had been delayed begins to accelerate. Everything that had seemed closed begins to open. This is not a metaphor. This is the reality of a prosperous day that has been orchestrated by God Himself. You will look back and realize that before October 2nd you were waiting, but after October 2nd you were walking in manifestation. What makes this day different is not just the timing, it is the divine energy behind it. Prosperity does not come because of human effort alone. It comes because the heavens have released their decree. October 2nd has been marked as a day of release. Think about that. The blessings that were stored up, the promises that were waiting, the harvests that were ripening, all of them find their moment of release in this day. And when heaven releases something, it does not trickle. It floods. Prosperity is not shy. It is bold. When God decides it is your time, the blessing pours out in ways that even you cannot fully expect. This is why October 2nd will feel overwhelming. Not in a heavy way, but in a way that makes you stop and take it all in. You will sense that you are standing under an open window. And everything you needed, everything you hoped for, everything you prayed for begins to fall into place. There is a rhythm to God's timing, a cadence that cannot be interrupted. October 2nd is part of that rhythm. Just as the tide moves in cycles, just as the moon governs the ocean, prosperity also has its appointed moments. For you, this is the tide turning, the ocean of blessing flowing in your direction. You could not have forced this moment to come earlier. No matter how much you wished for it, it is happening now because the alignment is perfect. You are ready. The season is ready and heaven has spoken. That is what makes October 2 so unique. It is the convergence of readiness and release. You are standing in the right place at the right time for prosperity to arrive. Imagine prosperity as a river that has been dammed for years. The water has been building, pressing, waiting, and then suddenly the dam breaks. That is what October 2nd represents, the breaking of the dam. The flood cannot be stopped once it begins. All the pressure that built up in the waiting is released in a torrent of blessing. This is why you will see things multiply quickly. What would have taken years will take months. What would have taken months will take weeks, and what would have taken weeks will take days. Acceleration is the signature of prosperity. October 2nd is not about slow progress. It is about sudden increase. It is the day when God says, enough waiting, enough delay. It is time to prosper. Now, as this prosperity begins to unfold, you will notice that it touches not just one area of your life, but every area. Financial provision is only the beginning. Favor will begin to open doors that had been shut for too long. Opportunities will begin to appear where you had only seen obstacles. Relationships will shift to bring you into alignment with those who can carry you further. Even your inner self will begin to feel renewed. Prosperity has a way of healing what was broken, restoring what was lost, and elevating what was hidden. October 2nd is your prosper day because it will not leave one part of your life untouched. Every dimension of your existence will feel the shift. God does not choose dates lightly. When He marks October 2nd as your prosper day, it is because the fullness of time has come. Everything before this moment was preparation. The trials refined you. The waiting shaped you. The delays strengthened you. Now, the prosper day arrives to show that nothing you endured was in vain. This is not just about material prosperity. It is about validation. It is the confirmation that you were chosen, that your path was guided, that your faith was not wasted. October 2nd will be remembered as the day when God publicly displayed what He had been privately preparing in you. The manifestation of prosperity is the evidence that heaven has been watching all along. And the beauty of it is that this day will not pass by quietly. It will leave a mark on your memory, a marker in your timeline. Whenever you look back at October 2nd, you will remember it as the day when things turned, the day when prosperity arrived, the day when hope became reality. Prosperity is not only about having more, it is about being more. And October 2nd is the day when God makes that visible. From this point forward, everything will look different because the blessing of prosperity cannot be hidden once it is released. Chosen one, October 2nd is more than a day. It is the opening of a door that had been locked until this very moment. You know how a sunrise cannot be rushed. Yet, when it finally breaks the horizon, it transforms everything in sight. That is what this day will be like. October 2nd is the sunrise of your prosperity season. Darkness may have lingered. Confusion may have clouded your vision. But when this day unfolds, clarity and brightness replace uncertainty. God has aligned this moment so precisely that the shift will feel both sudden and inevitable. Prosperity does not creep in quietly. It arrives with authority, carrying with it the undeniable truth that your time has come. Think of the years of waiting as seeds planted beneath the soil. No one could see them growing, yet roots were spreading deep and strong. The rain of trials, the storms of difficulty, and the seasons of silence were not wasted. They were feeding the hidden work beneath the surface. Now, October 2nd is the day the shoots break through the ground and become visible. Prosperity is the harvest of unseen faithfulness, and this is the appointed season for it to rise. You may have wondered why nothing seemed to change despite your efforts. But God was nurturing something far greater than you realized. And on this day, it bursts forth not as a fragile sprout, but as a flourishing garden overflowing with abundance. Prosperity has its own voice, and it speaks loudly. On October 2nd, it will declare over you that the era of scarcity is finished. It will proclaim that the silence of waiting has ended. It will testify that God's promises are not empty words, but living realities. You will begin to notice signs everywhere, reminders that prosperity is not approaching, but is already here. Conversations will shift in your favor, resources will align themselves toward you, and even strangers will be positioned to bless you without knowing why. This is not coincidence. It is the orchestration of heaven. October 2nd is stamped with divine fingerprints, and everything about it points to one conclusion. You are prospering because God has said it is your time. There is something unique about prosperity. It doesn't just change circumstances, it changes perception. On this day, your outlook will be transformed. The obstacles that once intimidated you will now look small. The challenges that once drained you will no longer hold power. The vision that once felt impossible will suddenly seem attainable. Prosperity shifts your perspective because it reminds you that you are not operating alone. You are moving with the strength and provision of God behind you. October 2nd reveals not only the blessing itself, but also the confidence that comes with knowing the blessing is permanent. This is not a fleeting moment. It is a new era opening before your eyes. The truth is, prosperity has been chasing you for a long time. It was waiting for permission to arrive. That permission has now been granted. On October 2nd, the pursuit ends because the blessing catches up to you. You cannot outrun what is divinely appointed. No matter where you go, no matter what you face, prosperity will continue to find you. It will show up in unexpected places, in surprising ways, and through people you least expect. This is how God works. He delivers abundance through channels that remind you His reach is limitless. October 2nd is not about small gains. It is about overflow. It is about more than you asked, greater than you dreamed, bigger than you imagined. And once prosperity arrives, it leaves a trail of transformation. Your household will feel lighter. Your steps will feel stronger. Your heart will feel freer. Even your thoughts will carry new energy, because prosperity does not just touch the external, it awakens the internal. On October 2nd, you will sense that the heaviness of lack has lifted, that the shadows of fear have dissolved, and that the chains of limitation have fallen. Prosperity is not merely wealth. It is freedom. It is the restoration of joy, the return of peace, the renewal of hope. It is the declaration that God has not forgotten you, but has remembered you with favour. October 2nd is your prosper day because it is not confined to one moment. It is the beginning of a flow that continues beyond this day. It is like the opening of a river. Once the waters break free, they do not stop at the banks. They keep flowing, spreading, reaching. That is what your prosperity will do. It will not be contained in a single experience. It will extend into your future, building momentum, creating legacy. The blessing of October 2nd will echo into the days and years ahead, reminding you continually that when God decides it is your time, no one and nothing can prevent the flood from reaching you. Chosen one, October 2nd is a hinge in time. The kind of day where you step through one door and realise there is no going back to what was before. It is as though heaven itself swings open and invites you into a different dimension of living. Prosperity is not simply arriving. It is settling upon you, clothing you and becoming your atmosphere. You will notice that on this day, even the way you carry yourself begins to shift. The weight of the past feels lighter because prosperity lifts what struggle tried to bury. The energy around you becomes charged, as if creation itself recognizes that this is your appointed day. The sun may rise the same way it always does, but to you, October 2nd will feel different because it carries the seal of God's timing. There is a rhythm that prosperity moves with, and on this day, it will be impossible to miss. Every detail will seem to point toward abundance. Small encounters will feel significant. Ordinary conversations will carry extraordinary weight, and even routine actions will feel guided. This is how prosperity reveals itself. Not only in large events, but in the subtle threads that weave through your day. You will realize that God has orchestrated everything from the smallest coincidence to the largest breakthrough to bring you into alignment with this prosper day. October 2nd will become the reminder that when heaven has written your name on a blessing, nothing on earth can erase it. The magnitude of this moment cannot be overstated. Prosperity does not only change what you have, it changes who you become. October 2nd is about stepping into a new identity. You will no longer see yourself through the lens of lack or limitation. You will begin to see yourself as God has always seen you, worthy of increase, prepared for abundance, and capable of carrying legacy. Prosperity awakens the truth of who you are. It strips away the labels that struggle placed on you and replaces them with the crown of favor. On this day, you are not only receiving prosperity, you are embodying it. People around you will notice the difference, not just because of what you gain, but because of the confidence and light you carry. This day is also a reminder that prosperity has a purpose. It is not just for comfort, it is for expansion. God releases prosperity because He knows it will not stop with you. October 2nd is the day when your overflow begins to spill into the lives of others. The blessing that rests upon you will touch your family, your friends, your community. Doors will open not only for you, but for those connected to you. Prosperity multiplies influence, and influence multiplies impact. That is why October 2nd is such a critical day. It is not simply the fulfillment of your desires, but the beginning of a ripple effect that will travel far beyond what you can see. Think of this day as a divine unveiling. For so long, your prosperity was hidden like a treasure stored in a chest. The chest was locked, but not forever. October 2nd is the key turning in the lock. As it opens, what has been stored for you is revealed. You may even feel overwhelmed because prosperity rarely looks exactly as expected. It is often larger, broader, and richer than what you imagined. God delights in exceeding expectations, and this day is proof of that. You will find yourself saying, "This is more than I thought, greater than I planned, faster than I believed." That is the nature of prosperity. It always comes with abundance that stretches beyond your vision. And as you stand in the middle of it, remember that this day is not just a date, it is a covenant moment. October 2nd is your prosper day because it is a demonstration of God's promise fulfilled. It is evidence that His timing is perfect, that His hand is steady, and that His word does not return void. When you step into the prosperity released on this day, you are stepping into the living proof that heaven remembers, heaven provides, and heaven delivers. This is why October 2nd will always be marked in your heart, not because of what you gain, but because of the undeniable awareness that God Himself declared it was your time. Chosen one, October 2nd is not just a shift for today. It is the foundation for everything that follows. It is like the cornerstone of a building, the point where all future structure finds stability. Prosperity is not a fleeting visitor that comes for a moment and then disappears. It is a permanent resident that has chosen to dwell with you from this day forward. On October 2nd, what begins is not a passing wave, but a new current in the river of your life. The waters of blessing will continue to flow, and the more you step into them, the more they will rise, carrying you further than you imagined. This is why this day is so important. It is the start of something that will not end. You will notice that October 2nd begins to rewrite your narrative. The story that once was marked by waiting, struggling, and hoping now becomes a story of fulfillment, receiving, and overflow. Where your past carried pages of unanswered questions, your future will carry chapters of undeniable answers. God has a way of shifting the storyline in a single moment, and this is one of those moments. Prosperity is not simply about having more. It is about being written into a better story. October 2nd is the page turn that leads into a new chapter of your life, one marked by clarity, favour, and the unfolding of divine promise. Every step after this day carries the echo of prosperity, reminding you that your life has been redirected toward increase. What makes October 2nd unforgettable is the way prosperity reveals things about you that even you didn't fully know. You will realise strengths you carried that were hidden until now. You will discover resilience that was formed in the waiting. You will recognise gifts that only shine when prosperity calls them forth. God has been preparing you quietly, and prosperity is the stage where that preparation is revealed. This day is like the curtain rising. You step forward, and what was hidden is displayed in the light. Prosperity does not just bring provision. It brings recognition. It shows the world what God has already known about you, that you are chosen for greatness. October 2nd is also the day when the weight of scarcity begins to lose its grip completely. Scarcity thrives on fear and doubt, but prosperity thrives on certainty and peace. When this day arrives, you will feel that shift inside you. It is as if the constant question of when will it happen finally disappears, replaced by the knowing that it has happened. That quiet confidence becomes the soil for even more abundance. Prosperity attracts more prosperity. And from October 2nd onward, you will live in the flow of continuous increase. This is why this day will stand out from all others. It will not just bless you once. It will set the tone for a new lifestyle of overflow. And there is something sacred about this day, because it proves that God's timing is beyond human understanding. You may have thought the best moment had already passed, but October 2nd is the reminder that the best was reserved for now. You may have felt like you were behind, but this day shows that you are right on schedule. God does not rush and He does not delay. He arrives exactly when the moment is ripe. That is what makes October 2nd so powerful. It is the fullness of time for your prosperity. And once fullness arrives, nothing can empty it. The blessing that begins here cannot be reversed because it is not built on chance. It is rooted in divine promise. So when you step into this day, let the awareness settle in you. This is your prosper day. October 2nd is not just any day. It is the day when heaven has smiled upon you, when the earth has opened its arms, and when prosperity has declared your name. It is the day when the waiting turns into witnessing, the hoping turns into having, and the longing turns into living. From this moment forward, prosperity is not something you anticipate. It is something you embody. October 2nd will forever be the marker that you were chosen, prepared, and positioned for this exact time. Chosen One, October 2nd, stands as a monument in your journey. It is not only a date, but a declaration etched into the unseen, a signal that your life has entered a new dimension of blessing. This prosperous day carries with it a permanence. You will not simply experience prosperity for a moment and then return to waiting. No, this day shifts the course of your entire story. It will be remembered as the moment the tide of lack retreated and the flood of abundance rushed in. It will be remembered as the day the gates of heaven opened and God allowed prosperity to flow into your reality without resistance. October 2nd is not just a highlight. It is the beginning of an entirely new chapter. There is a weight to this day because it closes out the long night of struggle. Think of how the dawn works. The darkness fights to hold on in those final moments, but it cannot resist the sun rising. October 2nd is that dawn. Whatever shadows have been clinging to you cannot survive the arrival of this day. Struggle has no authority in the presence of prosperity. The chains of waiting, the voices of doubt, the memories of lack, all of them lose their power when prosperity speaks. And prosperity is speaking loudly on October 2nd. It is declaring that you are chosen, favoured, and aligned with divine timing. It is reminding you that you are not forgotten, not overlooked, not delayed any longer. The day has come, and with it comes the evidence of God's hand upon your life. This prosperous day also carries a message beyond your present. It stretches into your future. October 2nd is a seed planted in time, but its harvest will continue to unfold in the days, months, and years ahead. The blessing that begins here is not confined to this day alone. It ripples outward, creating new opportunities, opening new doors, building new legacies. You will see that what God starts on October 2nd is not something that fades, but something that expands. Each day after will carry a piece of the prosperity born in this moment. It will grow, multiply, and surprise you with how far it reaches. This is why October 2nd will always be remembered as the beginning of a movement that cannot be stopped. And in the midst of all of it, you will feel the presence of God closer than ever before. Prosperity is not just about material gain. It is about the reassurance that heaven is with you. On this day, you will sense it in your spirit. The nearness, the guidance, the comfort of knowing that you are walking in step with divine design. Prosperity reminds you that you are not walking alone, that the hand guiding you is greater than any force against you. October 2nd becomes a covenant reminder. God's word is sure, his timing is perfect, and his promises are alive. When you look back, you will see this day not just as the arrival of prosperity, but as the undeniable evidence that God has been faithful all along. So let this day mark you, chosen one. October 2nd is not just a calendar date. It is a spiritual landmark. It is the day you cross over from waiting into living, from hoping into having, from believing into seeing. It is the day you step into prosperity, not timidly, but boldly, because it has been appointed to you.